Third Eye Views, Tobi, Opal.
When did you start making music?
I started making music probably around grade school. Like I was just, I would literally make like lyric songs, like just more like poetry. And then my friend had this band called the Funky Fresh Boys. I remember that, and I said one prerequisite to joining this band, I need to change the name. So we changed the name to whatever, and I joined, and that was probably from maybe 2nd to 5th grade. We did a couple talent shows, and that kind of fell apart just with like age, and we went our separate ways. And then I started kind of diverging into my own stuff when I started playing piano around middle school. I probably played from maybe like 6th to 8th grade and did talent shows doing that. And I was making my own music for like this whole time, essentially. I have a ton of piano songs, and then one time I got an Ableton trial, and I used that for like maybe 2 years, making like electronic music and stuff like that, and just posting my stuff on SoundCloud. And then I met a couple friends who did the same thing, and one of those was A. Nunez, if that's still what he goes by, and Bobby Archibald. They were both also making songs and posting them online and stuff like that. And so we made music together, and that Marketplace project was with Andrew, and then the Dragon Fruit RIO stuff was with Bobby. And right now Tobi Opal is they play a part in it also, but it's mainly just me.
When you first started making music, when did you start, I guess, taking it seriously?
Do I look like I take it seriously?
What was your first ever song that you made?
I have no idea. Probably a song in some journal that I threw away by this point. Definitely. The first like recorded song, as far as like Ableton and stuff like that, it was called Pour It Up. Honestly, fire. It wasn't, it wasn't great. It wasn't like terrible either though. It really like kind of kick-started and like kind of gave me confidence. It's like I could do this type thing. But I definitely made a lot of trash projects, I'd say, like starting off. You gotta make a bunch of garbage until you start coming into your own a bit.
When was the first time that someone like gave you recognition of your work, or someone that boosted your confidence in making music?
I don't know. People tell me it's good and they really like it, but not that I don't appreciate it. I definitely appreciate people's like compliments and stuff like that, but like what's like the most meaningful is like when it passes my judgment, and that usually is pretty difficult, because like I just torture my creations. I don't know. So the first time somebody complimented me on it was probably when I was posting stuff on, like a bunch of stuff on SoundCloud, and I think I was like Yellow Skyfish or something at the time. And the first project that people like really kind of messed with was called Mimosa, and that was a beat that I hadn't made that beat, but I made like, the vocals over it and everything, and then mixed it myself. And it was like this Korean band or something. I don't even know how I came across this song, but it was just this great song, and I made these other vocals over it, and that actually it gave me a decent amount of confidence when people started messing with that.
Do you produce and write your own music?
I do. The majority of my songs, I produced and wrote them on my own. Others I don't. It really depends. You know, it depends like who I'm with at the time, wherever the idea begins. You know, I do collaborate a lot with friends, and you know, if they contribute anything, it's essentially like they wrote it too. So I'd say I write and produce most of my own thing, but other friends do boost me up a lot, and I appreciate that. And so, like, if I had to give advice, it would be like to find other people doing similar things to what you're doing and help each other out.
Alright, so what happened with Dragon Fruit and RIO? Do you plan on making music together again, or?
Yeah, so Dragon Fruit RIO, me and Bobby, it was a project of ours, and honestly, like, so we've worked a lot together, but part of that relationship is we're figuring out like how to collaborate, and we just like didn't understand exactly what we were going into on like what we're agreeing to, essentially making those projects. And so I ended up like being like making a lot of the music, and he ended up mixing a lot of the music, and that wasn't like the necessary, like it wasn't necessarily the goal at the beginning of it, and that kind of just ended up what was happening just for sake of like time and stuff like that. So I feel like those projects where they lacked a little bit of focus, of just like duty, I guess. We needed to like plan it out more about collaborating in order to be like successful. But the Dragon Fruit RIO, why we switched the name was pretty much just like a marketing ploy a bit, and it totally flopped with RIO. So we changed the name from Dragon Fruit to RIO because RIO was supposed to represent this girl who we had joined the band, and she like gave us a bunch of music, and then we like stole it. You know, we kicked her out of the band and took all her music, and that shit did not work. Like we posted all over Instagram and everything, and everybody like fell for it because we were like too convincing. The idea behind it though was Bobby had this great idea. It was just like, you know, like WWE, how like it's all kind of a fallacy, and like, you know, it's a show. You know, it's not like they're not like beefing for real or anything, but like we buy into it for all intents and purposes. Like, oh, it's real enough, and you treat it like it is. And like I feel like that idea is amazing because creatively, then you don't have like a ceiling of like reality in like whatever, you know, social situation that is. And we were really messing with that idea. So that was like kind of the foundation of what we wanted to do with RIO. But I don't feel like our fan base was big enough to like understand that at the time. You know, nobody was like paying attention hardcore enough, searching for like Easter eggs and stuff. So they just like believed what we said on Instagram, and they were like, oh wow, your Instagram actually got hacked. And then like for a while we were playing along with it, like just saying like, oh yeah, I know, it sucks, our Instagram got hacked. But then eventually I was just like, man, well, I want people to listen to the album. So like I would just send it to them, and I was just like, oh, it was just a joke.
And what would you say is the hardest thing about music, whether it be writing music, the marketing aspect?
like for me at least, it's for sure like the marketing aspect of it, because at least when you're small, you know, you gotta like do everything by yourself, unless you have like a bunch of money and resources that you can put into outsourcing a bunch of other work. But essentially, you know, you gotta learn how to do everything by yourself, and I don't know, like that's not optimal, but like it's not optimal for like music making purposes, right? So it does kind of like kill, like it's kind of like a buzzkill of creativity sometimes.
Who are some of the artists that inspire you? And if you had one artist to work with, who would it be?
Right now, I'd say Tyler, the Creator. I just love his stuff, and his last few albums, and I mean even when like he started off and it was just like some golf wang shit, like while I was growing up and everything, he really just resonated with me, and even people like Kanye and stuff. Like I know everybody hating on like the Jesus is King, and like I talked to some people about like Donda, and they're saying like, oh man, the album intro freaks me out. Like, but no, I really like that too, and it's not even like just music that inspires me, to be honest. And like that's a hard question to answer sometimes, because like it could be anything. You know, I could see some like old man who tells me some really wise kind of offshoot of a thing, and it could make me want to write like a totally unrelated song, but like he just gives me that soul and juice to like go do that. So I don't know, I feel like inspiration kind of works in weird ways sometimes.
Alright, what's your least favorite song you ever made?
What?
So what's your least favorite song you've ever made?
No, I heard you. Well, what do you mean by that? You know, I love music, okay? I make good music. Are you insinuating that I don't like my music?
No, man, I didn't mean that.
No. What are you trying to say then, Brian? Brian, what are you trying to say?
What's the least favorite song you've ever made?
I don't have a least favorite song that I ever made. I don't understand why you're trying to do this to me, Brian. Why are you trying to... I'm done with your shit, Brian. Fucking stool.
Yo, bro, hold up. We didn't finish the interview, bro.
What do you need to ask me, bro?
Hey, bro, when's your next project dropping?
Bro, I don't... Fucking October 13th.
October 13th.
October 13th. Later. Well, get the fuck out of here, Brian.
Hey, bro, come on.
Stop looking at me, Brian!
I feel like this ain't no dinner date. Just hopped off a cliff, I dropped a spliff and I'm gon' get it cake. Fall into a pipe dream, I like nice things. Dipped in glitter once upon a time in Hollywood, the fight.